This comic. What's that for us today?
Well, I promised people who read the podcast and listen, like read the blog and listen to the podcast, that hey, you're gonna get Dick this week, and yeah, that's totally true. You're getting Dick Grayson, that is, because hey, like this is all about the latest run on the title, like that is like from from the Robin who was allowed to grow up, Dick Grayson, who became Nightwing, and has had his own ongoing series since the 90s, with the occasional post universe reboot interruption and all. And if you're wondering, like, hey, well, what actually made me want to actually start reading the Adventures of Dick Grayson, which it's like, hey, I have nothing against the character. It's like, in fact, I really like the idea that hey, this is Robin who was eventually allowed to become his own character. It's like in in the 80s, and also take over for Batman occasionally as well, specifically during the Grant Morrison run, like after Bruce disappeared to on time unsocied timelines, and Dick Grayson took over and became the Batman who smiles, who laughs, and that was good fun, because hey, this is a new take on Batman, and also Dick like offered a perspective on, hey, hey, a perspective on raising Bruce's son Damien, in terms of hey, just don't have to be all dark and gloomy all the time. Now you can actually have fun, inheriting the role of Batman, and Robin as well. It's so I think I've not been unaware of Dick Grayson's growth over the decades, but it's when it comes to his ongoing series, I just think oh well, it's just Dick Grayson doing superhero stuff, just regular superhero stuff that I can't expect anything new to come across. And then eventually it was written by a writer that I do like Tom Taylor, who gave us the interesting Star Wars title, and also but more importantly the Wolverine one, where Laura Kinney was wearing the mantle of Wolverine, and he actually gave us some interesting against the grain stories for the character. It's and also his creator own title, Seven Secrets, which was had its moments, but also didn't quite deliver the outside the box genre thinking that I was hoping for. But the thing is, I've generally enjoyed Tom Taylor's work. Oh, and I can't forget to mention his work on Deceased, the DC zombie saga epic that it's that it spawned its own mini franchise as well, that's also I have done my own, I've done podcasts about this as well. So yeah, when Tom Taylor does a series, I'm going to pay attention and check it out. So when it was announced that hey, he's doing a Nightwing series, so okay, I'll give it a shot and see how it is. And it's I was aware of some of the general conventions of Nightwing's history. The fact that hey, he's a son of circus platformers who were killed by a by a vengeful mobster, Tony Zuko, who was taken in by and he was then taken in by Bruce Wayne, who saw the loss of his parents in this kid. Basically became the more energetic, the more optimistic, Bat sidekick, and eventually evolved into his own like into his own proper hero as well. So, but then you got to the 90s, and he finally got his own ongoing series that sent him to like the city of Bloodhaven, which was like apparently described as like a much more like vicious version of Gotham, and ruled by the like by the crime lord known as Blockbuster, or like Roland Desmond. Well, it's like, this all sounds like, good and all, but hey, so I'm going to like start reading this series like, from the start. And in the first volume, well, it just basically reestablishes like, a lot of like the familiar stuff, specifically, and also just like coming back to a more traditional like version of Nightwing after, he had been shot in the head by KG Beast and lost his memory and become, Rick Grayson, like for a time. But then, that was all like resolved prior to like Taylor taking over. And now it's like, hey, it's Dick Grayson, just, back and being like, a happy, jumpy, like character for the series. And it's also, and like this first volume establishes Dick as someone who is, like trying to like, do his best for the city, and also following up on like, like recent developments in the Bat mythos, like the fact that that Alfred Pennyworth have been killed by Bane in front of Damien. It's like as part of like the evil Flashpoint Batman's like, plans in the City of Bane storyline over in the main Batman title. But that's not like the specific drive for the series, because it turns out that, Alfred left Dick a lot of money. It's like after he was like after his death. And so when it's like when Dick realizes he's got all this money to like to spend, he realizes that, hey, why don't I try to transform Bloodhaven into a proper, like socialist Kevin. And that sounds great, but, well, problem is he's got, people like Blockbuster, who is like, like the kingpin-esque, like force behind the city, and also using the like it's like the power of the new mayor, Melinda Zuko. Which, hey, wait a second, who's like Zuko? Like, if anyone has any knowledge of like an of Nightwing or Dick Grayson's history, you know that, Zuko is a name that has like, meaning there, because Tony Zuko was the guy who killed his parents when they were the Flying Graysons. It's like, and when they died, that was what caused Bruce to, like, adopt Dick as his, like, as his surrogate son. So again, that's something that's also like, played out here as well. But, so wondering what's going on here. It's like, what we've got, like, like a mayor who is like, the daughter of like, one of the like Nightwing's like, most hated enemies. Well, it's like, Taylor has plans here, because this is a series where it's like it's never as bad as you think. Like, the bad guys are, well, outside of like the obvious candidates, like, like the bad guys are never as bad as you feel. And it's it's like it's like, and there's also like, other like ways that things can play out as well, because there's also like a new villain introduced, and that's Heartless, basically a guy who just, like loves to just, like uses like his special gun to just, suck hearts out of, like out of characters, not villains, but really good guys. Basically, because this is basically a character who is just kind of like an evil, like like Dick Grayson, someone who just like like saw Dick's parents die at the it's like at the circus, and just thought that was the most awesome thing ever, and just like, hey, I just want to like see people like suffer in the way that he did. And this sounds like really ridiculous and evil and on the nose, but well, given how like our current social age has progressed, I don't think that's necessarily like the same. That's it. Like his like on the nose, over the top villainy has been has been shown to be like more unrealistic. It's like as things have gone on. But it's like overall, it's like I've enjoyed Taylor's like run on Nightwing. It's like if it has any major flaw, it's that it's not like delivering a lot of like like outside the box reinvention of the superhero genre. If anything, yeah, it's like it delivers some like hey, it's like surprising like stuff in the sense that hey, like many things don't play out exactly as we expect like the superhero tropes to be, and also there's also some interesting formal exploration of the like of the comics to like to enjoy as well. Specifically, the like the first issue in the second volume of his run, get Grayson, which is basically a issue length splash page. It shows Nightwing teaming up with Batgirl to get back his pet sidekick Haley, who is also given the adorable name of Bitewing, because she's like a three-legged dog that he rescued in the first volume. And it's like, this is great because I am a avowed cat lover, but even I will admit that the idea of like a dog sidekick named Bitewing is adorable, and doing a issue length splash page like to get her back is fantastic. It's like, and it was like, and it was pretty great. And also, is what's also pretty great is like is the subsequent issue, like later in the series, where we get a an issue where we see like see an entire story like from the first person's perspective of Nightwing, as he finds out that the that half of the acrobatic team of Double Dare has been captured and is trying to and they're trying to like get their sister back, like from the from the captivity that they've encountered. And also at the same time it sets up the like the big threat that Nightwing faces in his final volumes, when he faces off against Shelton Nile. It's like the evil, it's like the evil pharmaceutical kid, who is also the villain known as Heartless. Because this is also a series where, hey, Taylor acknowledges like Blockbuster's like status as like the big Nightwing, big bad of the series, and as the and also as the like Kingpin-esque like ruler of Bloodhaven. But he also like cleverly acknowledges that, hey, this is a series that this is a super series. We can like change that, and that instead of like hey, trying to change the world and all, we're just going to try and change Bloodhaven. And I like that. I like seeing him trying to like turn Bloodhaven into a proper socialistic sanctuary for its many inhabitants. Like, and that was it's like, and I trying and actually just working at like the illusion of change in superhero comics. Basically, that hey, like things can't change; the idea that hey, there's always going to be like someone like fighting against like the heroes, and it's like and like how the heroes are just trying to like deal with that more anything else. But like Taylor pushed past that, like the fact that hey, that Blockbuster was eventually defeated, and that hey, now we're gonna have to deal with its like its new villain, like the villain he created, Heartless. So it was like it's interesting seeing how that like plays out, and I think that this is like that overall, Nightwing is a good like superhero like like ground level superhero like series in terms of like hey, what do our superheroes have to like push up against in order to like make proper changes? Then hey, this is a good like series like that plays out that sets up, sets up that thing. It's like even though it's like I don't think it's like a game changer by any means. Like it's still just playing with the same superhero tropes, but still just not trying to like make make them interesting in that like what we've experienced with them as well. So it's not bad, but it's not like like shocking or anything else. I guess the best way to like say this is to say that I really enjoyed reading this volume run of Nightwing in softcover form rather than hardcover form, because yeah, this is a series also published in hardcover format, but I made the decision to read it entirely in softcover format. Just wait until things like were published in the cheaper edition, and I was fine with that. It's like I enjoyed it. It's like I felt that like if I had like given in and read this in hardcover, like the more pricier format, and I've done this before in other series, but with Nightwing, I was fine with that. It's like I think that this is a series that once like DC will likely republish this like in like probably a softcover like 2-in-1 omnibus format for the 8 volumes that was published in. And yeah, I know that the final volume is marked as volume 7, but the thing is though is that there's a secret volume 2 in this like it's like in this collection. That's the Nightwing Fear State um edition, which basically like publishes the 3 like tie-in issues to the Fear State crossover, which basically has a like evil fascist government taking over Gotham, and then Nightwing ducking in to help out the Bat Family with this, and like it's fine, but the second volume is basically like like worth it because like Taylor makes like this the story like, the setup work fine, but also he gives like a nice annual story which has like him like Dick Grayson working with other like his successor Robin Jason Todd, like who is now Red Hood. It's like just like him dealing with like the fact that like Red Hood has been framed for like killing a like a character who's been like in like in FBI protective custody, and it's a good story because this is because Nightwing basically says, hey, like if you're telling me that that you're not like the person who was like killed killed this person, then I believe you. And just like just setting up the story of like how these 2 people like known as Robin are gonna like who were formerly known as Robin like deal with this setup. It's good stuff, and like Taylor does a good job of like observing like bat history as well, especially like with especially he tends to joke about Batman's emotional availability in the series. He also just acknowledges that Batman like is willing to step up for like for his adopted son as well. That's great. That's good fun. that's entertaining. And I guess it also brings us to the final volume, which is the one I have not offered a review of. That is Fallen Grayson, which that's a pun right there. And if anything else, it's like I enjoyed the fact that Taylor basically mixes in the fact that the Dick Grayson is just like you know he falls, he rises, and he gets back up in this final volume. It's probably a bit too neat and compressed, to be considered like a truly great story, but I really did enjoy how things played out, because basically the crux of it is that Heartless essentially frames um Dick for being him, and then forces him like out of Gotham as he tries to like get his groove back as well, because one of the things that was established in the previous volume, the next to last volume of the series, is that um Dick is suddenly afraid to leap, that he just can't jump in the way that he has been, as the son of circus performers. And you're wondering, what's going on here? And it's one of those things where I was wondering, what is the business here? Until I read started rereading the series, and they realized, oh, wait a second. Heartless made him had offered him some water to drink when he came to see him in his civilian identity, and oh, that's probably it as well. And yeah, it turns out it's some modified scarecrow fear scarecrow fear toxin stuff that that he set up, had forced, that he got Nightwing to drink, and now he's got to relearn his ability to to jump as well, to leap, and in a way that actually ties into his origin, and Tony Zuko's his Tony Zuko's murder of his parents as well, which it's I can understand how Taylor was just thinking hey, how can I put my mark on on Nightwing's origin, oh, I got it, and it actually works, and I think that it's kind of interesting, and that he makes it work in the sense that that when Heartless finds out about it, he's kind of pissed, and that he just wants to define his relationship with Nightwing by this fashion. But no, it doesn't work. And also, I like the fact that even if Heartless origin as a as a mean upper class 1%er just seems really on the nose and obvious, it still feels really of the moment, more than anything else. And even though the the story in Fallen Grayson does have Nightwing basically getting one up on Heartless's plans, it's well, this is still superhero comics, so if someone really wants to bring back Heartless, they can. But I still do like how the villain was dealt with here. And overall, it's like Fallen Grayson, was something I was kind of worried about reading, because it's all about just hey, we're just deliver the villains big, big super villain attack against the main character in this in the storyline. But it's but it was also handled pretty well, especially when Taylor brings in the superhero weirdness of Dead Man, and DC's Shangri-La, not the Parbat, and also the person who is like called on to represent Nightwing after Nightwing is like rendered incommunicado. That was great, and I think that there's a lot more to like to deliver this character as Nightwing in future stories. Because I mean, it's like it sounds. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I think the series is worth reading to find that out. But reading, but like seeing this character take on Nightwing was great, and it was like a good validation of the character. So that being said, I'm not really. It's like going to like planning on following like Nightwing after this. I mean, like I think Dan Waters is a solid artist. Sorry, solid writer, but not someone who I just think like I gotta read what he does next. But let's say those like I think that like this story of like Dick Grayson just being like a good superhero, being someone who just tries to do stuff that betters his community, like through his connection with the Bat family and also with the Titans as well, is good fun. But it's like it's if you're looking for like a outside the box like superhero story, then no, this run of Nightwing does not deliver, but it's still good fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed like reading it and anticipating its like its superhero it's soft cover like stories as well. Like as it like, it did deliver like some interesting like twists, even if hey, I don't think like I needed to read this in like hardcover like every time as well. But hey, in softcover, it's good fun, and I think I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Tom Taylor does now that he's doing detective comics like with like a DC. Because yeah, it's like he made some jokes about Batman's emotional availability in Nightwing, but he also did some like good work in showing that hey, Batman can rise above that as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next, like with the Bat Family, just in softcover and all.
Cool. So, sorry. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Yeah, so hey, it's like I've like gone back and forth on like this latest arc of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but hey, as I'm talking to you this right now, I've got like the final 2 volumes of Stone Ocean in my to read pile. So yeah, I am totally going to talk about those next time, and hopefully they'll deliver a satisfying climax to this era of JoJo's bizarre adventurousness before we get to the you know like Wild West stuff. It's like in the it's like in the next arc as well.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch you next time on Comics by the Click.
All right, later's everyone.
See ya.